Good morning and happy whatever day it is where you are. Today we are doing more fall decorating and I am thrilled. I first want to thank you for just all of your really sweet comments and appreciation for my fall porch video. That is always such a fun video for me to do, and I love decorating my porch because for me, it's not necessarily about decorating it for other people as much as it is decorating it for myself, for when I leave my home, for when I come back to my home. It's just kind of that warm welcome to myself that just says simply that, welcome home. And it's just a expression of my home outside of my home. And although, yes, I do decorate for other people to feel welcome when they do come to my home, because as you all know, we have a lot of that. But it's just also a little bit for me as well. So keep that in mind when you're doing your own decorating. How do you want your home to welcome you and receive you and to love you and just all of those things? And just kind of implement that into the way that you decorate for each season. So today we are going to be decorating the kitchen, which you can see is behind me. And then we have our little eating area. But then in addition to that, I am decorating my living room as well. That is kind of a bit of a square, I guess maybe a little bit more of an L because we're not decorating the entryway today. But these three different areas in my home, as you'll see here in a second, they all pretty much adjoin to each other. So where I am currently standing, this is what I see. So behind me is my stove where you just saw. And then over here is our eating area. This is where we have breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever the case, whatever the day. And so we're going to decorate that. And then over here is my living room. And we are going to be decorating this as well. And then over here is my entryway. However, like I said, we are not going to be decorating that in this video. That is going to be the next video. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you are so you don't miss out. And then over here is behind where I was standing. And so we are going to kind of switch this up just a little bit and make it a little bit more fall. I did want to show you because I realized when I was editing my last video that I did not show you the rug that I put in our entryway. Is this not the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? And can I just tell you, this is so soft. Chloe walked in here the other day when I put it down and she's like, holy cow, I wish my carpet was this soft. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you at all. It is so soft. And I've had people come in here for small group and my book club, even the kids that come in here for gathered, they have all made comment, not all of them, but each different group have had individuals make comments saying, this is the softest rug ever. And I got her on Amazon, of course. And so I will link that in this video, but then I will also link it in the video when we do the entryway. But that way you kind of get a little bit of a head start if you are interested. But the colors are so gorgeous. I mean, if this doesn't scream fall, I don't know what does. And I am not saying to get a new rug for fall. It just happens to work out for me. For those of you who have followed me long or even watched a couple of my videos, you know that I am a fall. I am an autumn. And I decorate my home in that way. And so the majority of my decor all year round very much has a fall autumn tone to it. Yes, it's for spring and summer as well. But even my spring and summer, like as we just kind of walked around these spaces right here, you can very much feel a autumn hue or kind of a fall color palette, if you will. And so everything that I kind of have in my house already has that tone kind of to it. So for me, getting that rug was not getting it for fall, it was getting it for the rest of my home. But if you are someone who swaps out your rugs for different seasons, maybe that would be of interest to you. So I want to show you here really quick kind of how I plan for my decor, how I purchase things for my decor. But one thing that I do want to talk about is I do not feel that you have to totally overwhelm your home with decor for whichever season. You will find that as we go through my home and I decorate the individual rooms, I am using my decor more, my fall decor, that is. And you'll also find this when we do Christmas as well. But I am using that decor as more of an accessory to my home. So think of it as an outfit. Your basics and your must haves are your shirt, your pants, your socks, your shoes, but then your earrings and your necklaces and your bracelets, those are things that you are adding to your outfit to just accentuate the beauty that is already there. So think of that while you are decorating, looking for things for your home. Your whole entire kitchen table or counter or buffet area does not have to be overflowing with fall decor. You can just simply add different elements to what you already have to just accentuate it. Now, what I will say, and what I have said often in the past, is that when I add certain things, I take things away. So I am not just adding fall decor to what is already there. I am also taking away pieces as well because I don't want it to look cluttered and overpowering. And I don't want you to, if you walk into my home, your eyes are fighting for what to look at, and you want the things that are most beautiful to you to be on display. And that can be some fall and that can be some just everyday decor. So as we walk through the home, as we decorate these spaces, you will definitely find that in the way that I choose to decorate. And I hope that maybe that will be a little bit helpful for you. So let me really quick show you how I go about decorating my home and how I kind of categorize that per room, how I budget, how I purchase my different items, and that just gets me to the ultimate goal in my decorating process. So, right here, you will find that I kind of do like a little rendering or vision board for what I want my decorations to look like in my home. These are different ideas that I pulled from either Pinterest or Google, and I just created this page in Canva, which I do it for every single room, you'll see as we walk through. But I just put different ideas of things that I want to add to, whichever space, whichever room. And these are the things that I shop for in my home. And if I don't already have them in my home, then these are the things that I will shop for at the thrift stores. Very, very seldom will you find me purchasing something retail. For me, it is just so much more rewarding to be able to find those items at the thrift store or on Marketplace at a fraction of the cost and be able to put my money in other places. I will say that there are definitely things that I will put the money into, like rugs, bedding, sheets, things like that, that I probably would not reach for at a thrift store. But aside from all of that, I love having things in my home that nobody else has. That for me is what actual like decorating and style looks like, because it's not going to the store and picking something off of Target's shelf or Walmart's shelf that literally everyone else has picked up and put in their homes. That's not to say that that doesn't work for some people, and I think that that's great if that's, how you choose to decorate. Everybody has their own thing, but for me personally, because I love decor so much and I love interior design, I am always looking for different ways to decorate that won't look like someone else's home. Because for me, that is the intentionality and the creativity that goes into it that I love so much. So when I am putting these things together, I am thinking, okay, this for me is just a vision board. How can I create this look with my personal style? And so I will put those things together on a page. That is when I first shop my home, and I go down to my holiday slash decor closet. You guys have seen that multiple times. And I will shop there first to see if there's anything that I can use that is on my page. If not, then I will highlight the things that I'm still looking for. I will take that sheet with me to the thrift stores. You guys have heard me talk about Savers 1,000 times. For me, that is my local thrift store where I have 3 or 4 here in town. I'm in Kansas City. But then there are also Goodwills and like church consignment shops that I go to as well. And so those are the places that I will look for if I can't find the things already in my home. But it just helps me be able to budget. It helps me be able to save money and not have to spend a lot on things that don't necessarily live in my home all year round. So it just kind of helps my pocketbook a little bit. It helps my intention about being frugal and cost effective, and that's just what works for me. So, just an idea for you guys when you are kind of starting your game plan of how you want to decorate, how you can decorate from a budget standpoint, and maybe that will be helpful for you moving forward. All right, so I have already shown you what the current place looks like. What I am going to do next is take everything off of the surfaces. I am going to wipe everything down, both in my kitchen, in my eating area, in my living room. We're going to get everything dusted. A multi-surface cleaner is coming out, and we're just going to give everything a nice fresh wipe down. That way, when we bring everything back in, everything is nice and neat and orderly. What I will say is this is not the day or the time that you are going to want to be deep cleaning. Those videos for me are actually coming out right after we do our decor videos here. So that will be next week. And that's when we're going to go ahead and set our home for fall. That is not what this is. This is just wiping everything down so that we can put the things back on and have them clean. This is not the time that you want to become inspired to clean under your sink or to clean your stove or to go ahead and, organize and clean out your cabinets and your cupboards. That time is coming, and that is not now, because what you're going to end up doing is creating just absolute chaos in your home, and you are going to have 2 different major projects going at one time, and it's going to take you forever to get either one of them done. So just take the time to do this first, and then once everything is put in its place, we will come back in, and that's when we're going to reset our home or set your home, however you want to look at it, for autumn and fall. So I am going to do that. Once that happens, that is when I'm going to bring all of my decor in. We're going to start placing it where it goes. And then the next time that I see you all, it will all be put in its place. Everything will be decorated in these 3 rooms, and we'll be able to walk through it together. And I can explain to you how and why I did what I did. right, friends, the decorating in these rooms is all finished, and I want to just kind of walk through and show you what I did. I put this pot over here with these florals. I did not purchase any new florals this year. I just used ones that I've used in the past and accumulated over the years. This pot right here, which I adore, I got at the end of someone's driveway. They just had it sitting out there and it was free. And I was like, yes, absolutely yes. So I put that there next to the rattan urn that was there, all throughout the year. And then over here, this is what I created for my candles. And I'm loving it. And I don't even know that I will swap it out for Christmas. I'll probably do something different than feathers, but I just love the way that these hurricane lamps just accentuate the candles and they just make them look so elegant. I got these at Savers, which for those of you that don't know, that's my local thrift store here. I had the candles already. However, I did purchase both of the hurricanes. I went ahead and got these feathers on Amazon because I did not have enough of my own, which we talked about. And then I found this little goblet at Savers as well. And that is what I chose to put the feathers in. And then over on the table, I kept the same candlesticks that have always been there. But I found these pears at Savers, and I had originally had them in a rattan basket here on the table, and it was just way too much. It was very overpowering, fought very hard for attention between the chairs and the urn over on the buffet. And so I found the silver platter that they are sitting in at the thrift store. And then I also found this candlestick and I glued them together. And that is what I created for the pears to sit in. Is that not just gorgeous? Oh, I love it so much. Never underestimate what you can create with two different pieces. Then over here, this is what I did on the kitchen counter. I found this little jello or cake stand, whatever you want to call it. And I went ahead and put my candle in there. And then when I burn my candle, I just take the top of it off and lay it down beside. Of course, we kept our bell because he is just the cutest thing ever. And then I found this little pedestal and a blue and white cup and saucer. Oh, I forgot. I did buy new florals this year. The only ones that I bought were these red ones, and they are from Hobby Lobby, and they are beautiful. Like, I can't even tell you how gorgeous they are in person. I hope that you can get a good representation here on the video, but they are so, so pretty. They come in a bunch, so I just clipped each one of them off and put them in a foam dome, and that is what we created. I found my little blue and white cup and saucer on the top, and then down below I just have this little silver bowl, and I love the little feet that are on it. So, so beautiful. And then that just marries very well with our silver bell. So that is how that turned out. And then over here, we have just a few little pieces that we added. I found this really cute recipe holder, which I thought went very well with all of the other copper that I have here in this area. You guys have heard me talk about before decorating in a triangle. So if you will see here, I have got the recipe holder on the left, the copper cookie tin on the right, which is where I keep my Keurig pods. And then up above, to finish off the triangle, we have our copper pitcher, which also is from the thrift store. So everything from the thrift store, let's see, what is not from the thrift store? 2 of the cutting boards are not from the thrift store, but those were gifts. And then the only thing in this little cluster right here that is from the thrift store is the metal platter. But otherwise, sorry, my floor is creaking. Otherwise, literally everything over here is from the thrift store. I went ahead and put this little greenery ball on top of this urn. The urn was in the middle of the counter before, over there on the island. And then right here, I swapped around the placement of some of these items just so that they could be seen better and the colors would just marry a little bit better together. You can see here how I had it before and then how it looks right now. And then I separated this combo. You'll remember before that Daisy's cookie jar on the far right was over there where the urn is, but I have separated them and actually like that much better than the original placement. So I'm really, really happy with that. But that is what this area looks like. I've got soup going here in my crock pot, so don't mind that. But I am just so happy with how everything turned out, and I think that it all just blends so well together to create one cohesive space. And that is what it looks like all together. And then we will come over here. Like I said, we have not done the entryway yet. That is in the next video. Hi. How are you? Are you good? You tell everybody hi? Say happy fall. She's like, nope, it's nap time. All right, over here, I did just one little tweak to this area, and that was swapping out the original greenery that was in here from during the year with these hydrangeas. And I think that is so cute. And then the only thing that I ended up doing up here was I put one little cluster of leaves because I had more than this up there originally when I was kind of playing around with it, and it was just too much. It was way too overpowering for everything else that was going on in this space. And so I opted to just keep one little cluster up there just for interest. And then down here on the table, this is how this all turned out. I absolutely love it. I put this little planter on top of our blue and white plate. Those two things are thrifted. The planter I already had. It was over in the kitchen on the buffet, but I just moved it over here. But originally I had thrifted that. And then I just recently got this little blue piece of pottery from Savers. Both of these candlesticks were originally here during the year, but they are both thrifted as well. This duck is absolutely my favorite purchase of my fall decor. I love it. I love how it's kind of worn and it just looks very, very rustic, very Ralph Lauren. I found these books as well. One is pictures of cathedrals, and the other one is pictures of horses. I found these little berries, which were in a rattan basket, and I just went ahead and pulled those out from the basket, clipped them off, and put them in this little wooden pot, which was also thrifted. This candle was thrifted as well last spring, so nothing changed with that. We kept that here on the table. And then these leaves I thrifted last fall. It was black originally, and I just spray painted it gold. And then over here is our Norman Rockwell book, and I went ahead and found a picture that I thought went very well with the decor, which obviously is raking leaves. And I just thought that that worked so well with everything that was going on here on the table. And so that is how this space turned out. All right, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you gained so much inspiration to decorate your homes, your spaces for fall, and just be really intentional about your budget, the things that you want to put in your homes, that you love in your home, and to just really create a warm and cozy space that you can be 100% content with. I have more videos to follow for more fall decor. Next, we are doing the office, the dining room, the entryway, and the bathrooms. So stay tuned for that. If you are not already subscribed, click on that subscribe button as well as the bell, and that will notify you every time that there is a new video posted. That way you don't miss out on any of the decorating videos. Also, if you are not over on Instagram, jump over there and follow as well. That is where I post more of my daily photos, my stories, things like that. But it's also easier to communicate with you guys there than it is here on YouTube. Plus, I would love to see how you are decorating your homes for fall. If you would tag me in your pictures, I would love to share them with our community. That way we can all learn from each other. All right, friends, just remember, anything can be done on a budget. It doesn't have to be extravagant, it doesn't have to be expensive, but it can be beautiful. So be very intentional about what is important and necessary and just eliminate all of the rest. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.